Hello there, and welcome to the Sleepy Wonders channel. Tonight we'll be exploring one of the largest and oldest ecosystems on our planet. The very place where life began and where creatures continue to evolve in the darkness. The oceans are one of the most spectacular wonders on Earth, full of vibrant life and undiscovered mysteries. This journey moves beyond the familiar and into the vast world below, into deep waters where light slowly disappears and the environment changes completely, where pressure reshapes bodies, where animals glow, drift, hunt, and survive in ways unlike anything on land, where entire ecosystems exist without sunlight, powered by heat and chemistry rising from the planet itself. There are towering underwater mountains, endless plains, deep trenches, and silent migrations that happen every night on a global scale. Much of this world has never been seen directly, yet it plays a role in shaping life across the entire planet. What follows is an exploration of that hidden ocean, the strange creatures that live there, the forces that shape it, and the reasons it remains one of Earth's greatest unknowns. If you enjoy these quiet journeys, I invite you to like, subscribe, or share a thought below. It helps others find their way here too, one sleepy soul at a time. But for now, just breathe. Let your eyes grow heavy and let the deep sea cradle your thoughts. Let's begin. The ocean covers more than 70% of Earth. When you look at Earth from space, it isn't green or brown, it's blue. Over 70% of our planet is covered by ocean, stretching unbroken for thousands of miles in every direction. The Pacific alone is so large, it could hold all the continents combined. This immense body of water shapes everything about life on Earth. The climate, the air we breathe, even the rhythm of our days and nights through the tides. It absorbs heat from the sun, moves it around the globe, and creates weather patterns that ripple across continents. And yet, when we stand on the shore, it feels like a horizon, a boundary, the edge of the world. But the truth is, it's the ocean that defines our planet. Earth isn't just a rocky sphere in space, it's a water world. We have explored less than 5% of it. Despite all our satellites, submarines, and scientific advances, we've seen only a fraction of what lies beneath the surface. Less than 5% of the ocean has been explored, which means 95% of it is still a mystery. We know more about the surface of the Moon and Mars than we do about the deep sea. Vast mountain ranges, endless plains, and hidden trenches stretch for thousands of miles unseen. Entire species live and die in darkness, never yet glimpsed by human eyes. Each expedition reveals creatures so strange they seem like science fiction. Transparent jellyfish, glowing predators, and fish with anatomy unlike anything on land. The ocean is not just unexplored, it's almost entirely unknown. And that means every dive is like stepping onto an undiscovered planet with secrets waiting in the dark. We've mapped more of Mars than our own ocean floor. It may sound unbelievable, but we know more about the surface of another planet than we do about the seafloor beneath our own. Thanks to orbiters and satellites, over 99% of Mars has been mapped in high resolution. The ocean floor, only about a quarter. Much of it remains an indistinct blur, inferred from satellite gravity readings or sonar echoes. We've explored the deep with robots and submarines, but the scale is staggering. Earth's oceans cover over 70% of the surface, and their depths are difficult and expensive to reach. As a result, there are canyons, mountains, and entire ecosystems we've never seen. New species are discovered every time we look. In a way, the deep ocean is our last true frontier, an alien world at the bottom of our own. And it lies just beneath our feet, quietly waiting to be understood. In the deep, pressure can crush a submarine like a can. As you descend into the deep ocean, pressure increases fast and dramatically. Every 10 meters down adds another full atmosphere of pressure, the equivalent of the weight of the entire sky. By the time you reach just a kilometer deep, the pressure is 100 times what we feel at sea level. Go farther, and it becomes thousands of times greater. At the deepest trenches, the force is more than 8 tons per square inch, enough to crush steel, collapse submarines, and turn hollow objects into twisted wreckage. But astonishingly, life survives, even thrives under these extremes. Creatures down here are soft-bodied, boneless, and uniquely adapted. Their biology is shaped by compression, their movements slow and ghost-like. For us, this realm is lethal. For them, it's home. The crushing weight of the deep is one of its defining features, and one of its greatest mysteries. The ocean's deepest point could swallow Everest with room to spare. The Mariana Trench in the western Pacific Ocean holds the record for the deepest point on Earth. At its lowest measured spot, the Challenger Deep, the ocean plunges to nearly 11,000 meters. If you placed Mount Everest inside it, the peak would still lie more than 2 kilometers below the surface. This trench is not just deep, it's profoundly alien. Temperatures hover near freezing, the pressure is extreme. And yet, even here, life persists. Microbes thrive in the mud. Arthropods and strange fish flit through the dark, and we've only just begun to explore it. Fewer people have visited the Challenger Deep than have walked on the moon. Each descent requires precision engineering and nerves of steel. But with each journey, we learn more about the limits of life, the shape of the planet, and what waits at the bottom of the world. Life flourishes there without a single ray of sunlight. Sunlight is the engine of life on land and in the ocean's upper layers. But in the deep, light never comes. And yet, astonishingly, life continues without photosynthesis. Instead, deep-sea ecosystems run on chemosynthesis, a process where bacteria feed on chemicals like hydrogen sulfide, which bubble up from hydrothermal vents. These bacteria become the base of the food web, nourishing creatures that have never seen the sky. Some animals, like giant tube worms, don't even have mouths or digestive systems. Instead, they host bacteria inside their bodies and absorb energy directly from them. This partnership between microbe and host allows entire ecosystems to bloom in the dark. These strange, sunless communities have reshaped our understanding of biology and the possible conditions for life beyond Earth. If life can exist here, it might exist in the deep oceans of other worlds too. The ocean soundscapes are as complex as forests. When we think of the ocean, we often imagine silence. But to a hydrophone, an underwater microphone, the sea is alive with sound. Whales sing in deep, haunting tones that travel across entire oceans. Dolphins click and whistle. Shrimp snap their claws like underwater fireworks, and fish croak, grunt, or drum on their own bodies. Together, these voices create soundscapes as rich and layered as the calls of birds in a rainforest. The ocean is never truly silent. Sound travels farther and faster in water than in air, making it the primary language of the sea. For creatures living in darkness, sound is sight, communication, and connection all at once. To drift in these soundscapes is to hear the ocean breathing, humming, and whispering with life. a chorus that has been singing for millions of years beneath the waves we barely know. Entire continents drift on plates beneath the sea. The ocean is not just a surface of water. It is the skin of a living, shifting planet. Beneath it lie tectonic plates, enormous slabs of rock that move slowly over Earth's mantle. These plates carry entire continents with them, drifting a few inches each year. Over millions of years, they break apart, collide, and reshape the face of the Earth. Oceans open and close like slow breaths, and mountains rise from the sea. The Atlantic Ocean, for example, is still widening today as the plates on either side move apart. This drifting explains why fossils of the same species can be found on continents now separated by thousands of miles of ocean. To imagine continents floating on vast plates of stone is to see Earth as alive, always changing. The ocean is not just a boundary between lands, but the stage where worlds are formed. The ocean still holds mysteries we cannot yet imagine. For all our ships, satellites, and submarines, most of the ocean remains unexplored. More than 95% of it is still a mystery. A realm of darkness and pressure where unknown creatures may drift unseen. Each expedition brings discoveries, new species, new landscapes, even new chemical processes. Yet, the vast majority of the deep remains untouched by human eyes. Scientists believe we may have seen less of the seafloor than of the surfaces of Mars or the Moon. Somewhere in the abyss, there may be creatures with forms we cannot picture. Ecosystems unlike anything we know. The ocean is a reminder that our planet still holds secrets, that mystery is not confined to distant galaxies. To close your eyes and imagine the unknown depths is to feel wonder and to dream of what might still be waiting in the silent dark. The sea is both our origin and our future. Every life on Earth traces its beginnings back to the sea. Billions of years ago, the first living cells floated in its waters, nourished by the chemistry of the deep. From those tiny sparks, all plants, animals, and humans eventually arose. Even now, the ocean sustains us, giving us food, oxygen, and a stable climate. And as we look toward the future, the ocean may again hold the key to our survival. Its currents regulate the planet's temperature. Its ecosystems support our fisheries. And its depths may one day reveal medicines, energy sources, or even clues to life on other worlds. To stand on the shore is to stand at the edge of both our past and our destiny. The ocean is not just where life began. It is where life continues and where humanity's future may ultimately return. Other creatures are nearly invisible, and that's on purpose. In a place with no shelter, no rocks or coral to hide behind, the best defense is to vanish completely. Many deep sea creatures have evolved bodies that are almost perfectly transparent. Their skin, muscles, and even some internal organs are made of jelly-like material that barely bends or reflects light. The result is a near-invisible body that predators can't easily detect. Some fish are so transparent you can see their skeletons. Others, like the glass squid, are nearly invisible except for their eyes, which they disguise using mirrors or special pigments. Even their blood lacks pigment to reduce visibility. In the deep ocean, visibility isn't just about hiding from predators. It's about survival at every level. To float unseen through a world without shadows is a powerful adaptation. In the quiet dark, transparency becomes a form of armor, elegant, ghostly, and nearly perfect. The gulper eel can open its mouth wider than its own body. The gulper eel is one of the deep sea's most surreal residents. A shadowy creature with a whip-like tail and a ballooning jaw. Its mouth is so massive, It can open wider than the eel's entire body, forming a kind of living fishing net. Despite its fearsome appearance, the gulper eel is not a fast hunter. Instead, it drifts through the blackness, waiting for small fish or shrimp to swim by. Then, with one sudden motion, it opens its enormous mouth and gulps. Its body can stretch to hold surprisingly large meals, making it a master of rare opportunities in a world where food is scarce. It also has a bioluminescent lure at the tip of its tail, a glowing dot that it can wave to attract prey. In the still black waters of the abyss, the gulper eel is part monster, part illusion, and entirely real. Every night, deep creatures rise toward the moonlight. When the sun sets and the ocean surface grows dark, something extraordinary happens in the deep. Millions of creatures, fish, squid, jellyfish, and plankton begin to rise. Slowly, silently, they migrate upward from the twilight zone to feed in the nutrient-rich upper layers. It's called the Deal vertical migration, and it's the largest movement of animals on Earth. This nightly journey happens across the globe from the tropics to the poles and repeats every 24 hours like a planetary heartbeat. The creatures rise to feed under cover of darkness, then retreat again before dawn to avoid predators. It's a delicate dance between hunger and safety, light and shadow. Most of it is invisible to us, hidden beneath waves and moonlight. But this migration shapes ecosystems, affects carbon cycles, and keeps the deep connected to the surface. In the ocean's rhythm, night is the time to rise. This nightly migration is the largest on the planet. Each evening, trillions of marine animals ascend from the deep. Not just a few meters, but sometimes up to a kilometer or more. The sheer scale is staggering. Imagine every living human being rising and falling in perfect synchrony every night. Now multiply that by 1,000. This vertical migration moves more biomass, more total living matter than any other daily movement on Earth. It helps regulate the planet's climate by transferring carbon from the surface into the deep ocean, where it can remain for centuries. And it does all this in near total silence, far from human eyes. Creatures like lanternfish, hatchetfish, and tiny crustaceans make this trek under the cover of darkness, guided by cues we barely understand. Perhaps temperature shifts or the faint rise of moonlight. It's one of the most important processes on the planet, and we're only beginning to understand how it works. Starfish can regrow entire arms. In the tide pools and shallow seas, starfish crawl slowly across the rocks, their arms stretching like rays of the sun. These creatures possess a remarkable ability. If they lose an arm, they can regrow it completely. In some cases, a single arm can even regenerate into a whole new starfish, given enough time. This power comes from their incredible ability to regenerate cells, rebuilding not only muscle and skin, but also their internal structures. For starfish, this isn't just a trick. It's a survival strategy. When attacked by predators, they can sacrifice a limb and later grow it back. Watching a starfish move with calm determination, you might never guess the quiet resilience hidden in its body. Their ability to heal and renew themselves is a gentle reminder of nature's patience and of the hidden powers life can carry within. Some octopuses carry coconut shells as tools. The octopus is known for its intelligence, but perhaps one of its most charming traits is its resourcefulness. In the waters of Indonesia, scientists have observed octopuses carrying coconut shells across the sea floor. They use their arms to tuck the shells underneath their bodies, shuffling along awkwardly while transporting them. When threatened, they assemble the shells into makeshift shelters, hiding inside their portable armor. This is one of the clearest examples of tool use in the ocean. A creature not just reacting to its environment, but actively shaping it to its advantage. The sight is strangely endearing, like watching a traveler carry a suitcase. In the dark and shifting world of the sea, where danger can come from any direction, the coconut octopus has learned to bring safety with it. A reminder that intelligence takes many forms. Even in the silent deep, they can solve puzzles and escape from tanks. Octopuses are masters of problem solving. In aquariums around the world, keepers tell stories of octopuses that unscrew jar lids, lift latches, and even sneak out of their tanks at night. Some have been found wandering the floor, exploring pipes, or slipping into neighboring enclosures to steal food. Their arms are lined with hundreds of suckers, each capable of tasting and touching independently, like having 8 curious hands. But it's not just dexterity. Octopuses seem to think. They learn from experience, remember solutions, and adapt to new challenges. Watching an octopus carefully unscrew a jar to reach a crab inside feels almost human, a glimpse into a mind both alien and familiar. In the silent waters of their tanks, they remind us that intelligence is not ours alone. It is a thread woven through the ocean in forms we are only beginning to understand. An octopus has 3 hearts and blue blood. The octopus is unlike almost any other creature on Earth. Inside its body, not 1 but 3 hearts beat. 2 of them pump blood through the gills, while the third pumps it through the rest of the body. Even stranger, their blood is not red like ours, but blue. This is because it uses copper rather than iron to carry oxygen. Copper works better in the cold, oxygen-poor waters where many octopuses live. When an octopus swims, one of its hearts actually stops beating, only to start again when it rests. These creatures are reminders that life is endlessly inventive, shaping organs and systems to fit the needs of each environment. To imagine blood running blue instead of red, and a rhythm powered by 3 separate hearts, is to glimpse just how many ways life has found to thrive beneath the waves. One strange underwater sound was dubbed the bloop. In 1997, a strange and powerful sound was detected by underwater microphones in the South Pacific. It was low, deep, and loud. So loud, in fact, that it was picked up by sensors over 5,000 kilometers apart. Scientists called it the bloop. At first, it baffled researchers. The sound had characteristics similar to those of an animal call, but no known creature could produce a sound so powerful. Was it a whale? A seismic event? Something unknown? Speculation ranged from deep sea monsters to undiscovered leviathans. Eventually, the best theory pointed to the cracking and collapse of massive Antarctic icebergs. But for years, the bloop captured the imagination of oceanographers and science enthusiasts alike. It reminded us that the ocean can still surprise us, that sometimes a single unexplained sound can echo through both water and wonder, stirring the imagination as much as the ear. Some fish communicate by drumming on their own bodies. While whales sing and dolphins click, some fish have evolved much stranger ways to communicate. They drum, using special muscles attached to their swim bladders, the internal sacs that help control buoyancy. These fish can create rhythmic thumps, pulses, or grunts. It's a bit like beating a drum from the inside out. These sounds can serve many purposes, attracting mates, defending territory, or signaling distress. The toadfish, for example, makes a humming call so loud it can be heard through the hulls of boats. Other fish use short bursts to coordinate with the group or ward off intruders. In the dark, noisy world of the ocean, sound becomes a private language, one that's often overlooked by human observers. These simple drumming rhythms are reminders that even the quietest fish may have a voice, if only we know how to listen for it. Whales dive for miles to sing where no light reaches. Among the deepest divers in the animal kingdom are whales, especially species like the sperm whale and the Cuvier's beaked whale, which can dive over 3 kilometers beneath the surface. They go there to hunt, to hide, and in some cases, to sing. Whale song is one of the most haunting and beautiful sounds in nature. Long, echoing calls that can travel for thousands of kilometers. Some whales dive deep before they begin singing, where ambient noise is lower and the sound can carry farther. These songs may serve many functions, attracting mates, locating others, or mapping the sea using echoes. They're so complex that they may even contain dialects or patterns that change over time. In the dark silence of the abyss, a single whale's voice can fill the water like music in a cathedral. It is sound without light, language without land. Giant squid were once sea monsters until we filmed them alive. For centuries, giant squid were the stuff of sailors' nightmares, glimpsed in fragments, washed ashore in pieces, or tangled in fishing nets. They were called kraken, leviathans, monsters of the deep. No one had seen one alive in its natural habitat until 2012, when Japanese researchers captured the first video of a living giant squid filmed over 600 meters below the surface. What they saw was dazzling. A sleek, graceful creature with shimmering skin and eyes the size of basketballs. Its arms moved like ribboned silk, trailing hundreds of tiny suction cups. It wasn't a monster. It was a mystery made real. The deep sea still holds many secrets. But the giant squid is no longer just a legend. We've seen it. And that glimpse confirmed what mariners had whispered for centuries, that something enormous waits in the dark. Reef-building corals are under threat from warming seas. As beautiful as coral reefs are, they are also fragile. Corals live in partnership with tiny algae that provide them with food and brilliant color. But when ocean temperatures rise even slightly, the corals become stressed and expel their algae. Without their partners, they turn ghostly white, a process called coral bleaching. If the heat continues, the corals starve and die, leaving behind barren skeletons. In recent decades, warming seas have caused mass bleaching events across the globe, threatening reefs that have stood for thousands of years. Yet, there is hope. Some corals are more resilient, capable of withstanding higher temperatures, and scientists are working to protect and restore reef ecosystems. The fragility of corals reminds us that the ocean, for all its power, is also delicate. A living system that depends on balance and one we are called to care for. Entire atolls are built on ancient volcanic foundations. Scattered across the Pacific are rings of islands that look like necklaces floating on the sea. These are atolls, circular chains of coral that enclose tranquil lagoons. Atolls are born from volcanoes. Long ago, volcanic islands rose from the sea and corals began to grow around their edges. As the volcano slowly sank beneath the waves, the corals continued to build upward, keeping pace with the rising water. Over millions of years, the volcanic island disappeared beneath the surface, leaving behind a near ring of coral. The result is a natural wonder, an atoll with calm waters at its heart and the open ocean beyond. To walk across an atoll is to stand on the memory of a volcano transformed into a paradise of sand, palms, and coral. They are reminders that even destruction can create beauty, reshaping the world in unexpected ways. Seagrass meadows produce more oxygen than forests. Beneath the waves, vast meadows of seagrass sway with the current. These underwater plants may seem unremarkable compared to coral reefs or kelp forests, but they are quiet giants in Earth's story. Seagrasses photosynthesize, drawing in carbon dioxide and releasing oxygen. In fact, per square meter, they can produce more oxygen than tropical rainforests. These meadows also act as nurseries, sheltering young fish, seahorses, and turtles among their waving blades. Their roots stabilize the sandy seabed, protecting coastlines from erosion, and they store huge amounts of carbon, locking it away in the sediment for centuries. Yet seagrass meadows are disappearing worldwide due to pollution and coastal development. Protecting them means protecting one of Earth's most important life support systems. To drift above a seagrass meadow is to float over a hidden forest, alive with movement, feeding the air we breathe and keeping our planet in balance. Mangroves protect coastlines from storms. Along tropical shores, mangrove forests stand with their roots tangled like intricate sculptures, half in the water and half on land. These remarkable trees are natural guardians of the coast. Their roots act like living barriers, absorbing the force of waves and storm surges, protecting inland communities from flooding and erosion. At the same time, they provide shelter for fish, crabs, and birds, forming rich ecosystems in the shallow water. Mangroves are also powerful carbon sinks, capturing and storing carbon dioxide in their soil and roots. Yet, like coral reefs, they are under threat from development and climate change. To walk among mangroves is to feel the meeting of land and sea, where trees grow in salt water and roots cradle entire ecosystems. They are protectors and providers, reminders that nature has its own defenses and that the ocean's edge is alive with resilience. Rivers and lakes exist at the bottom of the sea. It sounds impossible, but it's true. Under the sea, there are rivers and lakes, bodies of water within water. These strange features form when dense, salty brine gathers in depressions on the seafloor. Because the brine is heavier than the surrounding seawater, it doesn't mix easily. Instead, it forms shimmering, slow-moving pools with visible shorelines, currents, and even waterfalls. Some are surrounded by mussels and tube worms. Others are eerily still with toxic chemistry that few organisms can survive. Divers and submarines that approach often report a surreal sight, the sensation of flying over a separate sea. These lakes can be tens of meters deep and hundreds wide, complete with waves and ripples. It's a layered world within a world, like a secret ocean hiding inside another. Some undersea pools are so salty, they're toxic. At certain depths, the ocean hides something astonishing. Brine pools, where salt concentrations are so high that the water becomes heavier than the sea around it. These pools can be several times saltier than normal seawater, forming dense lakes on the seafloor that don't mix with the ocean above. The chemistry inside is often lethal to most marine life. Lacking oxygen, laced with hydrogen sulfide, and nearly still. Some creatures have adapted to live at the pool's edges, but any fish that wanders too far inside may never come out. Submersibles that explore these pools describe eerie underwater shorelines, complete with rippling surfaces and even waterfalls. The sight of a lake beneath the sea, complete with its own tides and shores, is one of the most surreal discoveries in oceanography. These toxic pools are quiet reminders that the deep doesn't always follow the rules of water. The seafloor isn't flat. It's full of sunken valleys and towering cliffs. When we imagine the bottom of the ocean, it's easy to picture a vast, featureless plain. But in reality, the seafloor is just as rugged and dramatic as any mountain range on land, and sometimes even more so. Deep beneath the waves lie steep escarpments, massive undersea cliffs, sprawling trenches, and volcanic ridges. Some cliffs drop for kilometers in near vertical walls shaped by shifting tectonic plates or ancient landslides. Others form the boundaries of underwater plateaus and fracture zones. Because of the difficulty of mapping the deep, many of these features remained hidden for decades, and some are still being discovered. Just like the continents, the ocean floor is scarred and sculpted by geological time. Every valley is a record of collapse or creation, every ridge a frozen moment of fire. Even where no sunlight ever reaches, the Earth's forces are still at work. Abyssal plains stretch across the ocean like endless deserts. Far below the surface, between 3 and 6 kilometers deep, lie the abyssal plains, vast flat expanses that cover more than half of the ocean floor. These plains are some of the flattest regions on Earth, formed by the slow settling of sediments over millions of years. But while they may seem barren, they are not lifeless. Tiny organisms burrow in the mud. Scavengers patrol the darkness. Occasional whale falls create oases of life. To visit an abyssal plain is to enter a place where time moves slowly, where silence is absolute, and where each particle of marine snow, organic matter drifting down from above, is a treasure. These plains are both alien and familiar, wide, still, and strangely peaceful. They're the true seabed of the world, stretching beyond the limits of light or sight. They are the ocean's quiet, unmoving heart. Some islands disappear beneath the waves again. Just as the ocean can create islands, it can also take them away. Many small volcanic islands born in spectacular eruptions vanish within years as waves and storms erode their fragile rock. In the Pacific, new islands have appeared and disappeared in the span of a single human lifetime, leaving only faint outlines on nautical charts. Rising sea levels add to this process, slowly submerging low-lying atolls and coral islands. Entire communities in places like the Maldives and Kiribati live with the knowledge that their homes may one day slip beneath the waves. The ocean is both giver and taker, sculpting the land as it pleases. An island may rise like a miracle, only to vanish again, reminding us that nothing on Earth is permanent. Land and sea are in constant negotiation, and the ocean always has the final word. Coral reefs are built by tiny animals. When you see a coral reef, it may look like colorful stone, a solid wall of rock covered in fish and plants. But reefs are actually alive, built by billions of tiny creatures called coral polyps. Each polyp is a small animal related to jellyfish, with soft bodies that secrete limestone skeletons. Over time, these skeletons accumulate, stacking into massive structures that can stretch for hundreds of miles. The reef becomes a living city, growing slowly over centuries as each new generation of polyp builds upon the last. The colors we see come from the algae that live inside the corals, giving them food through photosynthesis. Reefs are not just beautiful, they are vital, providing shelter and nurseries for countless marine species. To swim among coral is to wander through an ancient living cathedral, built one tiny creature at a time across centuries of patience. They support a quarter of all marine species. Though coral reefs cover less than 1% of the ocean floor, they are home to about a quarter of all marine life. Fish of every color, dart between the branches. Sea turtles glide gracefully overhead, and tiny creatures build their homes among the coral. This astonishing density of life has earned reefs the nickname rainforests of the sea. For humans, they are equally important. Reefs provide food, protect coastlines from waves, and support millions of people who depend on them for fishing and tourism. Yet, they are fragile, threatened by warming waters and pollution. When corals die, entire ecosystems can collapse, leaving silence where once there was life. To imagine a reef is to imagine abundance, a kaleidoscope of colors, shapes, and movements, all woven together into a single living system. They remind us how rich and interconnected life in the ocean can be. Some corals glow under ultraviolet light. When corals are bathed in ultraviolet light, something magical happens. Their surfaces shimmer with neon colors, glowing greens, blues, and reds that look almost otherworldly. This glow comes from special proteins within the coral that absorb UV radiation and remit it as visible light. Scientists believe this bioluminescence may help protect corals from harmful sunlight or perhaps attract the tiny algae that live inside them. To divers exploring reefs under special lights, it feels like stepping into a dream where the ocean floor shines like a field of stars. These glowing corals are not just beautiful. They hold secrets that may one day help humans develop new medicines and technologies. In their light, we see both the creativity of nature and the endless curiosity it inspires, reminding us that even the smallest creatures can shine with cosmic brilliance. Others feed on nothing but falling dust. Many deep sea creatures don't hunt, chase, or bite. Instead, they wait. They feed not on other animals, but on tiny particles drifting down from the upper ocean. A slow, steady rain of organic matter known as marine snow. These particles are the remains of dead plankton, tiny fecal pellets, discarded exoskeletons, and other microscopic debris. Though each flake is nearly weightless, together they form the primary food source for vast regions of the sea floor. Sea cucumbers, brittle stars, crabs, and deep-dwelling worms sift through this sediment like scavengers in a cosmic snowfall. In some regions, entire ecosystems are sustained by this delicate stream of nutrients. Life here moves slowly, conserving energy, making the most of every particle. In the deep, there are no fast meals, only patience, and the knowledge that even the smallest speck can be a feast. Marine snow drifts down like an eternal ghostly blizzard. Imagine a snowfall that never melts, not of ice, but of organic dust. In the deep sea, marine snow is a constant slow-motion blizzard. Tiny flakes of dead plankton, algae, fish scales, mucus, and microscopic waste drift endlessly downward from the sunlit surface. Most flakes are barely visible. Some clump together, forming delicate webs or pellets. They can take weeks or even months to reach the bottom. But for deep sea creatures, marine snow is life. It delivers nutrients to places where nothing grows, linking the surface world to the abyss in a kind of invisible food chain. Some animals filter it from the water as it falls. Others graze the seafloor, collecting what settles there. It may seem unremarkable, but this soft, silty snowfall is one of the most important biological processes on Earth, connecting life across layers of depth and time. A whale fall feeds life for decades in the deep. When a whale dies and its body sinks to the bottom of the ocean, something extraordinary happens. That carcass, sometimes weighing over 30 tons, becomes a vast temporary ecosystem known as a whale fall. For decades, layer by layer, life moves in. First come scavengers, sharks, hagfish, and giant amphipods that strip away the flesh. Then other creatures move in to feast on scraps and soft tissue. As time passes, the bones themselves become food. Bacteria that feed on fats within the bones release chemicals like hydrogen sulfide, attracting chemosynthetic worms and mollusks, the same kinds of life seen at hydrothermal vents. A single whale fall can support over 100 species of animals, many of which are found nowhere else. In the dark, where food is rare, a whale's body becomes a gift, a slow-burning feast that echoes through the ecosystem for years. Some creatures eat bones and nothing else. Deep in the ocean, where meat is scarce and survival is hard, a few creatures have evolved to do the unthinkable. They eat bones. The most famous of these is the Osedax worm, also known as the bone-eating zombie worm. It has no mouth, no stomach, and no eyes. Instead, it drills into the bones of fallen whales using acid, then absorbs the nutrients inside. To do this, it relies on symbiotic bacteria that help it digest fats and collagen. These worms grow root-like tendrils that anchor into the bone, while feathery plumes extend from their bodies to extract oxygen from the water. They are delicate, ghostly, and oddly beautiful. A perfect example of life adapted to extremes. In a world where food arrives once in a generation, nothing is wasted. Even bones become a banquet. Even decay becomes life. The Southern Ocean encircles Antarctica with endless winds. At the bottom of the world lies a restless ocean unlike any other. The Southern Ocean circles Antarctica completely unbroken by continents. Because of this, its currents can race all the way around the globe, creating the strongest continuous flow of water on Earth. These currents connect the Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Oceans, mixing their waters and regulating Earth's climate. The winds above the Southern Ocean are equally powerful, whipping the seas into towering waves that crash against the icy continent. Despite the harshness, life thrives here. From vast colonies of penguins to pods of orcas and humpback whales, the Southern Ocean is a reminder that even at the planet's edge, where cold and wind seem unrelenting, the sea remains alive, churning endlessly. It is like a great belt of water and air, binding Earth's oceans into a single living system that never stops moving. The Arctic Ocean is covered by shifting ice. The smallest of Earth's oceans, the Arctic, is capped by a vast sheet of floating sea ice. This frozen lid is never still. It cracks, drifts, and reforms with the seasons, creating a shifting, ever-changing landscape. In summer, the ice retreats, opening passages of water and exposing hidden ecosystems beneath. In winter, it expands again, stretching into a frozen desert. Beneath the ice, life carries on in quiet resilience. Plankton bloom in the sunlight, filtering through the ice. Fish glide below, and seals hunt in the cold, silent dark. Polar bears wander across the frozen surface, depending on the ice to hunt. As the climate warms, the Arctic Ocean is changing faster than almost any other place on Earth. The melting ice is a reminder that this frozen sea is not eternal. It is fragile, shifting, and deeply connected to our world's future. The ocean's surface hides mountain peaks taller than the Alps. The ocean may look flat and endless from above, but beneath its surface lie mountains taller than the Alps. Seamounts, underwater mountains formed by volcanic activity, rise thousands of feet from the sea floor. Many never reach the surface, their peaks hidden just below the waves. Some are higher than Mount Rainier, yet completely invisible from land. These seamounts create unique ecosystems as currents swirl around them, bringing nutrients that attract fish, corals, and whales. Entire communities form in these hidden places, thriving in the shadow of underwater peaks. To think that such towering mountains exist, unseen beneath the waves, is humbling. They remind us that most of Earth's wonders remain hidden from sight. The next time you gaze at the horizon, remember just below that calm surface. Peaks taller than alpine summits rise silently through the deep, unseen, and unknown. Some trenches are so deep they could swallow Mount Everest. The ocean is home to immense chasms that make even the greatest mountains seem small. The Mariana Trench, the deepest known, plunges nearly 7 miles beneath the surface. If Mount Everest were placed inside, its peak would still be submerged by more than a mile of water. These trenches are formed where tectonic plates collide, forcing one beneath the other into the Earth's mantle. They are some of the most extreme environments on the planet, dark, cold, and under crushing pressure. Yet, even here, life exists. Strange organisms cling to the rocks, feeding on nutrients that drift down from above or emerge from deep within the Earth. These trenches are not just scars on the sea floor, but doorways into the unknown. To imagine their depth is to imagine standing at the base of Everest and still looking up through miles of dark water. Cold and darkness slow down time for living things. Life in the deep ocean moves at a different pace. Temperatures often hover just above freezing, and light never penetrates past a certain depth. These conditions change everything, especially time. Cold temperatures slow metabolic rates, allowing animals to conserve energy and reduce wear on their cells. Many deep sea creatures grow slowly, reproduce rarely, and live for decades or even centuries. A single meal might last for weeks. A generation might stretch across half a century. In the absence of light and warmth, evolution favors stillness, patience, and endurance. What feels like a moment on the surface might be a year in the deep. This slowness is not a weakness. It's a strategy. In a world where food is rare and change is gradual, living slowly means living well. In the deep, time flows like the cold water, vast, gentle, and unhurried. Some fish survive by producing their own antifreeze. In the coldest parts of the ocean, where temperatures dip below freezing, many fish would freeze solid without special adaptations. But some have evolved a clever solution: antifreeze proteins. These proteins circulate in their blood and tissues, binding to ice crystals and preventing them from growing. It's the same basic principle as the antifreeze in a car, but far more elegant. These antifreeze-producing fish are found in polar oceans and deep, frigid waters. Their bodies remain soft and flexible, even in the cold, allowing them to move, feed, and survive in environments that would otherwise be fatal. Scientists have even studied these proteins to improve cryopreservation techniques on land. It's a reminder that extreme cold isn't always a barrier. In nature, it's a challenge, and evolution loves a challenge. Where ice would stop most hearts, these fish keep swimming. Others are so soft they'd collapse if brought to the surface. Some deep sea creatures are made almost entirely of gelatinous material, soft, delicate, and nearly formless. At great depths, this softness is an advantage. Without a rigid skeleton, they can resist the crushing pressure simply by being flexible. But if they were suddenly brought to the surface, they'd collapse. Not from injury, but because their bodies depend on high pressure to maintain shape. The famous blobfish, for example, looks like a saggy cartoon on land. But at its natural depth, it's sleek and well-formed. Other creatures like certain jellies or comb jellies would disintegrate almost instantly in normal air pressure. These animals have evolved for one specific environment: the deep. Their beauty is fragile, their survival is precise, and their bodies are shaped by forces most of us will never feel. The invisible weight of miles of water pressing in from all sides. Some deep creatures have no bones at all. In the crushing pressure of the deep ocean, softness becomes a form of strength. Many creatures here have no bones, no rigid skeletons or hard shells. Instead, they're made of soft tissues, cartilage, or gelatinous material that can bend and flex with the water around them. This makes them incredibly pressure tolerant. While a bony body might crack or collapse, these creatures simply compress and expand as needed. Some look like drifting ghosts, others resemble ribbons, umbrellas, or glass sculptures. Their softness isn't a flaw. It's an exquisite adaptation. Even fish that do have skeletons often have lightweight, flexible bones or reduced structures that give them more mobility and less fragility. In the deep, structure is secondary. Survival means yielding to the environment, moving with the currents, and staying quiet in the dark. These soft-bodied wonders remind us that vulnerability can also be resilience. Entire ecosystems exist with no sunlight ever. Most of life on Earth depends on sunlight. Plants capture it, animals eat the plants, and the cycle continues. But deep in the ocean, far beyond the reach of even the faintest ray, entire ecosystems exist in complete and permanent darkness. These aren't just a few stray species. Around hydrothermal vents and cold seeps, scientists have found dense communities of life. Tube worms, shrimp, crabs, mussels, and strange fish. There are no photosynthetic plants, only organisms that live by chemosynthesis, using chemical energy instead of light. These ecosystems don't depend on the surface at all. They form their own closed worlds powered by the heat and elements leaking from inside the Earth. When these environments were first discovered in the 1970s, they upended our understanding of what life needs. And they offered a possibility even more profound: that life might not need sunlight at all. Instead of photosynthesis, life down there runs on chemistry. Sunlight fuels almost every food chain on the planet, except in the deep ocean. Here, something remarkable happens. Life runs on chemistry. Around hydrothermal vents and methane seeps, microbes use the energy stored in chemicals like hydrogen sulfide, methane, and iron to create organic matter. This process, called chemosynthesis, allows life to flourish without the sun. It's similar to photosynthesis, but instead of light, it uses molecules from the Earth itself. These chemosynthetic microbes form the base of entire ecosystems, feeding tube worms, clams, and crustaceans that gather in dense colonies around vents. It's a different kind of energy, ancient, elemental, and invisible. And it may be one of the earliest forms of life on Earth. Some scientists even believe chemosynthesis could support life on other planets or moons. In the deep sea, chemistry becomes cuisine, and life rewrites the rules of survival. Microbes feed on sulfur that leaks from Earth's crust. At hydrothermal vents, the water gushing out isn't just hot. It's full of dissolved minerals, including toxic chemicals like hydrogen sulfide. This gas would be deadly to most surface life. But in the deep, certain microbes have evolved to feed on it. These sulfur-loving bacteria form dense mats on rocks, coat vent chimneys, and even live inside the tissues of larger animals. They use the energy from the sulfur to fuel chemosynthesis, creating sugars and organic molecules that support other life. Some tube worms have no mouths or digestive systems at all. Instead, They house these microbes within their bodies and absorb the nutrients they produce. It's a remarkable partnership. Sulfur from the earth, microbes from the deep, animals from the dark. Together, they form ecosystems as rich and complex as any coral reef without ever needing light. These tiny organisms power entire deep seafood webs. In the deep, where no light penetrates, the smallest creatures often carry the greatest weight. Chemosynthetic microbes, though invisible to the naked eye, form the base of deep seafood chains around vents and cold seeps. They transform toxic chemicals into energy, producing organic matter that feeds shrimp, crabs, mollusks, and other vent dwellers. These in turn feed larger predators like deep-dwelling fish or octopuses. Every life form in the system ultimately depends on the microbes, even if they never interact directly. It's a web that doesn't begin with sunlight, but with sulfur, methane, and iron. Without these microscopic powerhouses, the vent communities would collapse. Their role is quiet, constant, and vital. And because chemosynthesis might predate photosynthesis, these microbes may represent one of life's oldest strategies, a kind of living memory from the earliest oceans. In their simplicity lies the key to an entire hidden world. Cold water corals build vast cities in the dark. Coral reefs aren't just tropical. In the freezing depths of the ocean, far from sunlight, cold water corals quietly build vast, complex structures that rival their shallow water cousins. These corals don't rely on photosynthesis. Instead, they catch tiny particles of food drifting through the current using delicate, feathery arms. Over thousands of years, they grow into massive reefs, some stretching for kilometers. These reefs provide shelter for countless deep-sea species, fish, worms, crustaceans, and sponges. They're hotspots of biodiversity in an otherwise sparse world. Many cold water corals grow slowly, just a few millimeters per year. But given enough time, they can form underwater cities teeming with life. These reefs are hard to reach and only recently mapped by sonar and submersible expeditions. Some have already been damaged by trawling or climate change. But even in the darkness, they continue to grow. Delicate fortresses sculpted by time. Some coral reefs are older than human civilization. In the deep ocean, coral grows slowly, sometimes just a few millimeters per year. But given enough time, that slow growth becomes something monumental. Some cold water coral reefs are estimated to be more than 8,000 years old, meaning they began forming before the first cities were built on land. These reefs are hidden in darkness, built by creatures that never see the sun. And yet, over centuries, they form towering mounds and sprawling habitats that shelter entire ecosystems. Each new coral polyp builds on the skeletons of those that came before, layer upon layer across millennia. While shallow reefs often come and go with the tides of warming oceans, some deep reefs have endured ice ages and survived the shifting of continents. These aren't just reefs. They're living archives built slowly in silence, telling stories that long predate our own. Deep water corals grow without ever seeing the sun. Unlike the bright corals of tropical shallows, deep water corals have no need for sunlight. They don't rely on algae for food as their surface-dwelling cousins do. Instead, they capture small bits of drifting organic matter from the water around them. Tiny particles of marine snow, bits of dead plankton, and microscopic life. These corals grow in cold, dark water, sometimes more than 1,000 meters deep. Their shapes vary wildly: spirals, fans, branches, and curls. Some glow faintly under special lighting, revealing colors hidden from natural view. Though they live far from human eyes, They are vital to deep-sea biodiversity, forming reef structures that act as shelters, nurseries, and hunting grounds. Their beauty is subtle, often seen only through the lens of a remote camera. But it's there, intricate, delicate, and undiminished by darkness. New coral reefs are still being found today. With all our technology, it might seem like we've already discovered most of what Earth has to offer. But in the deep ocean, surprises still wait. In recent years, scientists have discovered entirely new coral reefs, some stretching for kilometers, others hidden beneath submarine cliffs or along continental slopes. One reef off the coast of South Carolina was over 130 kilometers long and previously unknown. These discoveries often happen by accident: a sonar scan, a passing submersible, or a curious blip on a map. The deep is vast and largely unexplored, so it's likely that many reefs and the life they support remain unseen. With each new reef comes new questions. How old is it? What species live there? How can it be protected? Even now, the ocean continues to surprise us, and every new reef is a quiet reminder that Earth still holds secrets. We use robots to explore where no human can swim. The deep ocean is a place of extremes, freezing temperatures, intense pressure, and absolute darkness. It's no place for unprotected humans. So instead, we send robots. These machines, called ROVs, remotely operated vehicles, are equipped with cameras, lights, robotic arms, and sensors. Piloted from ships at the surface, they can dive for hours or even days, transmitting real-time video and data from miles below. Some can hover above vents. Others collect samples, measure temperature, or map terrain with sonar. They've been used to discover new species, study deep-sea ecosystems, and even locate shipwrecks lost for centuries. The footage they return is often breathtaking: glowing jellies, towering coral, volcanic landscapes. These robots don't just extend our reach. They extend our imagination in a world we cannot visit ourselves. They go in our place, eyes in the dark, explorers of the unseen. Some drones dive for hours, beaming back glimpses of the unknown. Many of today's deep-sea drones are autonomous, meaning they don't need constant human control. These AUVs, autonomous underwater vehicles, follow programmed paths, gliding through the ocean in search of data. Some map the seafloor in high resolution. Others measure temperature, salinity, or chemical signatures in the water. Equipped with cameras, lights, and sensors, they can drift through the abyss for hours, even days, sending their findings back via satellite when they return. These drones can explore tight spaces, follow currents, and enter regions that would be too risky for human divers or tethered robots. They've found hydrothermal vents, coral gardens, and entire ecosystems we didn't know existed. And with every mission, they teach us something new. In the deep, where even light cannot go, machines carry our curiosity, quietly charting a world we've only just begun to understand. A few submarines can carry humans to the ocean's abyss, while most deep-sea exploration is done by robot. A few specialized submersibles are built to carry human passengers all the way down. These vessels are shaped like reinforced spheres, able to withstand crushing pressures many kilometers below the surface. Inside, explorers sit shoulder to shoulder in cramped darkness, peering through tiny windows or watching live feeds from cameras outside. The experience is quiet, surreal, and otherworldly. A slow descent into cold silence. Only a handful of humans have ever visited the Challenger Deep, the deepest known point in Earth's oceans. Most descents last several hours, with only minutes spent on the seafloor. But what's seen there leaves a lasting mark: alien landscapes, strange creatures, and the inescapable sense of isolation. These manned dives are rare and dangerous, but also deeply human. In a world mostly beyond our reach, sometimes we still choose to go in person. In 1960, 2 people reached the deepest part of the ocean. On January 23, 1960, oceanographer Jacques Piccard and U.S. Navy Lieutenant Don Walsh descended into the Challenger Deep, the deepest known part of the world's oceans. Their vehicle was the Trieste, a deep-diving research bathyscaphe built like a reinforced steel balloon. It took them nearly 5 hours to reach the bottom over 10,000 meters below the surface. Down there, they found total darkness, crushing pressure, and surprisingly, signs of life. Though their visibility was limited, they reported seeing flatfish and shrimp-like creatures. They stayed on the seafloor for just 20 minutes before beginning the long journey back up. No one had ever gone that deep before, and no one would again for more than 50 years. Their quiet dive into the deepest part of Earth marked a turning point in human exploration, a moment when courage met the unknowable and didn't turn back. Their vessel was called the Trieste, and it survived the crushing dark. The Trieste was unlike any other submarine ever built. Its most important feature was its pressure sphere, a thick steel capsule just large enough to hold 2 people, suspended beneath a massive tank filled with gasoline for buoyancy. At the bottom of the ocean, the pressure exceeds 8 tons per square inch, enough to crush most submarines like paper. But the Trieste held firm. Its descent was slow, its windows tiny, and its interior claustrophobic. The walls groaned. A viewing panel cracked from the pressure, but it didn't fail. When Piccard and Walsh reached the bottom, they stirred up so much sediment that they couldn't see outside. Only the faint glow of their lights swallowed by swirling darkness. Still, they had made it. The Trieste proved that humans could go deeper than ever imagined, and for a long time, it remained the only vessel to do so. Fewer people have visited the Challenger Deep than the Moon. As of today, fewer than 20 people have ever visited the Challenger Deep, the deepest known point in Earth's oceans. In contrast, 12 astronauts walked on the Moon during the Apollo missions. The Challenger Deep is more remote, more hostile, and harder to reach than outer space. In many ways, the crushing pressure, total darkness, and extreme isolation make each descent a monumental engineering and psychological challenge. For decades after the Trieste's dive, no one returned. Then in 2012, filmmaker James Cameron completed a solo dive to the bottom, becoming the first person to go alone. In the years since, a handful of other missions have followed, each revealing something new. But still, it remains one of the least visited places on Earth. A pit in the planet so deep, so silent, that most of it is still untouched. A kind of underwater lunar surface. Today's explorers use cameras, lights, and robotic arms. Modern deep-sea exploration blends technology and precision. While manned dives still occur, most research today is carried out by remotely operated vehicles. ROV robotic explorers equipped with high-definition cameras, bright LED lights, and multi-jointed arms that can collect samples, place instruments, or even pick up fragile creatures without harming them. These machines are guided by pilots aboard research vessels on the surface, sending back live video feeds from depths of thousands of meters. Some ROVs are built for mapping, others are designed for science, and all are made to survive the extremes of the deep pressure, cold, and total darkness. Their lights cut through the black like search beams, revealing coral forests, vent fields, or drifting jellies. And because they can stay down for hours or days, they give us a window into a world we could never see on our own. They are our eyes in the abyss. Every deep dive reveals something new and unexpected. One of the most exciting truths about deep ocean exploration is also the simplest. We always find something new. Every dive, whether by submersible, ROV, or autonomous drone, brings unexpected discoveries. Sometimes it's a strange new fish, with fins like wings or jaws like traps. Sometimes it's a colony of deep-sea coral in a place no one thought they could grow. Sometimes it's a sound we can't explain, a chemical anomaly, or an ecosystem built around a volcanic vent we didn't know existed. Even after decades of exploration, the deep ocean continues to surprise us. In fact, scientists estimate that over 90% of deep-sea species remain undiscovered. Every descent is a kind of first contact, not with aliens from space, but with life from our own planet. In the dark, discovery is not rare, it's the norm. Many creatures found in the deep are still unnamed. In the deep ocean, discovery often comes faster than classification. Many of the animals captured on camera by deep-sea drones or collected during expeditions don't match anything we've seen before. Some resemble known species, but differ in shape, color, or size. Others are so strange that scientists don't even know where to place them. It can take years, even decades, to study a single specimen, compare its genes, and give it a formal name. In the meantime, researchers give them nicknames: Dumbo octopus, psychedelic jelly, gummy squirrel. These placeholders remind us that we're still early in our understanding. The deep sea is full of creatures that science hasn't yet described. Animals that live and die without ever appearing in a textbook or database. For now, they drift unnamed, glowing and feeding in silence. But their stories are waiting to be told. The deep sea is Earth's final living frontier. We've explored mountaintops, deserts, and even the surface of the moon. But the deep sea remains Earth's least known realm. It stretches across more than half the planet's surface. Yet, most of it has never been seen. Not because it's unreachable, but because it's vast, dark, and difficult. It's a place where pressure crushes, light fades, and time slows. But it's also alive, pulsing with creatures that glow, drift, or burrow, many of which are still undiscovered. In this landscape of trenches, vents, and plains, life has adapted in ways we're only beginning to understand. The deep sea is not barren. It's brimming with secrets, some ancient, some utterly new. It is a frontier not of conquest, but of curiosity. A reminder that even here on our own blue planet, wild unknowns still remain. Mapping the ocean floor is one of science's greatest challenges. The surface of Earth's oceans covers more than 300 million square kilometers. Yet less than 1/4 of the seafloor has been mapped in high resolution. Why? Because mapping the deep is hard. Satellites can't see through water, and sonar takes time. To create detailed maps, ships must crisscross the ocean slowly, bouncing sound waves off the bottom and measuring the echoes. It's like painting a portrait with a flashlight in the dark, one brushstroke at a time. The deeper the water, the harder it becomes. Trenches, ridges, and valleys can distort readings. Equipment must survive harsh conditions, and it's all incredibly expensive. But progress is happening. Projects like Seabed 2030 aim to chart the entire ocean floor within this decade. With every new map, the deep becomes a little less hidden and the mysteries a little closer to home. Satellites help reveal the hidden landscape of the deep. Even though satellites can't see the seafloor directly, they can help us infer its shape. By measuring tiny variations in the ocean's surface height, caused by underwater mountains and trenches tugging on Earth's gravity field, scientists can build low-resolution maps of the ocean bottom. For example, a seamount creates a slight bulge in the sea surface above it, just a few centimeters high. By stitching together satellite data over time, researchers can detect ridges, valleys, and other features no one has seen. These maps lack detail, but they're an essential first step, guiding sonar surveys, ship expeditions, and robotic dives. In this way, space helps us understand the deep. Satellites orbit hundreds of kilometers above the planet, yet they whisper clues about places 11 kilometers below the waves. Sometimes the tools that look out into space also help us look back into Earth's own depths. The deepest point is deeper than Mount Everest is tall. The deepest point we know of is the Mariana Trench's Challenger Deep. If you dropped Mount Everest into it, the summit would still lie more than a mile underwater. At nearly 7 miles deep, the pressure there is more than 1,000 times greater than at the surface. It is a place of crushing darkness beyond the reach of sunlight, where life persists against unimaginable odds. Few submersibles have ever made the descent, and each time they've returned with images of a silent alien world. The creatures there are adapted in extraordinary ways, bodies soft and flexible to withstand pressure, bioluminescence to signal and lure in the dark. Standing on a mountain peak feels like touching the sky, but descending into Challenger Deep is like touching the unknown, the bottom of our world. Our entire mountain ranges lie hidden beneath the waves. Beneath the ocean, the landscape is anything but flat. Entire mountain ranges rise and fall, stretching across the sea floor. The Mid-Atlantic Ridge alone is longer than any chain on land, over 40,000 kilometers of peaks and valleys. Most of it is hidden far below the waves, invisible to us except through sonar maps and occasional glimpses from submersibles. These mountains are alive in their own way, created by the Earth itself as tectonic plates shift and spread. New rock is born here every day, pushing the seafloor apart. In some places, these ridges break the surface, forming islands like Iceland, where fire and ice meet above the waves. To think that we walk across mountains on land, while entire worlds of peaks, cliffs, and ridges remain concealed beneath the sea, is to realize how much more there is left to discover. Some features were found entirely by accident. Not all discoveries in the deep are made by design. In fact, many of the most remarkable underwater features, including coral reefs, seamounts, and hydrothermal vents, have been found completely by accident. A sonar signal might return an unexpected echo. A deep diving robot might catch a glimpse of a strange shape. Or a passing research vessel might notice an anomaly on its instruments and decide to investigate. One of the world's largest deep-sea reefs was discovered simply because a team took a detour. These surprises are a reminder of how little we truly know. In the deep, there are no signs or landmarks. Most of the sea floor remains uncharted, so even the most routine expedition might stumble upon something no one has ever seen. The ocean is full of quiet astonishments, waiting not for permission, but for curiosity. Underwater volcanoes lie hidden beneath miles of water. Beneath the ocean's surface, volcanoes are everywhere. In fact, the majority of Earth's volcanic activity happens underwater. Along the mid-ocean ridges, where tectonic plates pull apart, magma rises from deep within the planet, building up new seafloor. These underwater eruptions form massive volcanic chains and seamounts, some of which grow tall enough to become islands, but most remain hidden beneath kilometers of water. Their heat fuels hydrothermal vents. Their shape influences ocean currents, and their eruptions can reshape entire landscapes without ever breaking the surface. Some undersea volcanoes are active, others dormant, and many more have yet to be discovered. Because of the difficulty in observing them directly, we often only detect eruptions after the fact through seismic readings, discolorations in the water, or sudden blooms of microbial life. Earth is still forming itself beneath the sea, one quiet eruption at a time. Some can erupt without a single splash. Not all volcanic eruptions are dramatic. In the deep ocean, an eruption can happen in total silence with no explosions or fire, just magma flowing from fissures onto the sea floor. The immense water pressure suppresses steam and gas, muffling the blast. Instead of fountains of lava, these eruptions produce slow, creeping flows that cool rapidly into pillow-shaped rocks. Sometimes these events go completely unnoticed until a submersible stumbles upon the fresh formations, still warm and steaming. In other cases, sensors detect slight temperature changes or seismic tremors, hinting that something has occurred deep below. These quiet eruptions are incredibly common and essential. They build new crust, fuel hydrothermal vent systems, and provide heat and chemicals that support life in the abyss. In the deep, fire doesn't rage. It seeps. And in the darkness, Earth remakes itself without ever disturbing the surface above. Others slowly build giant domes of lava in the abyss. Not all volcanoes explode with fire. Some, deep beneath the sea, ooze lava so slowly that it forms enormous underwater domes. Smooth, bulbous mounds called lava pillows, or submarine lava domes. These structures are built layer by layer as molten rock flows from deep fissures in the sea floor, spreads out and quickly cools into rounded shapes under intense water pressure. Some domes span kilometers in diameter and rise hundreds of meters off the ocean floor, taller than skyscrapers, but invisible from above. Because they erupt slowly and silently, they can take decades to build, and they often go undetected until mapped by sonar or spotted by a passing submersible. These lava domes are the quiet architects of the ocean floor, slowly reshaping Earth's surface beneath miles of dark water. They remind us that creation doesn't always arrive with noise. Sometimes it rises in stillness. The seafloor is recycled by the Earth itself. Unlike the continents which persist for billions of years, the ocean floor is constantly being created, destroyed, and recycled. At mid-ocean ridges, new crust is formed as magma rises and cools. At subduction zones, deep trenches where one tectonic plate slides beneath another, that crust is slowly pulled back into the Earth's mantle, where it melts and begins the cycle again. The entire seafloor is on a kind of conveyor belt, moving outward from ridges and downward at trenches. No part of the ocean bottom is permanent. In fact, the oldest known seafloor is only about 200 million years old, ancient by human standards, but young compared to continental rocks. The Earth continuously reshapes itself beneath the sea, breaking and remaking the planet's crust without pause. It's a process that spans lifetimes, continents, and oceans, quietly turning rock into fire, and fire into rock again. Ocean plates move and shift like slow-motion tectonic gears. Earth's outer shell is divided into large slabs of rock called tectonic plates, and many of them lie beneath the ocean. These oceanic plates move constantly, though so slowly that we usually don't notice. They slide past one another, collide or pull apart at speeds of just a few centimeters per year, about as fast as your fingernails grow. But over millions of years, this slow drift reshapes continents, forms islands, creates deep trenches, and builds underwater mountains. When two ocean plates meet, one may be forced beneath the other, triggering earthquakes or volcanic eruptions. When they spread apart, new crust is born. The deep ocean is one of the most active zones of plate movement, a hidden engine that drives much of Earth's surface activity. We walk on solid ground, but beneath us, the planet moves in slow, grinding rhythms. The Atlantic Ocean grows wider by inches every year. The Mid-Atlantic Ridge is a vast underwater mountain range that runs like a seam down the center of the Atlantic Ocean. Along this ridge, two tectonic plates, the North American and Eurasian plates, are slowly pulling apart. As they separate, magma rises from below, creating new seafloor. The result, the Atlantic Ocean is growing, widening by about 2.5 centimeters per year. It's a pace so slow you'd never notice in a lifetime. Yet over millions of years, it adds up to oceans being born, continents drifting, and coastlines changing shape. If this process continues, the Atlantic could eventually become wider than the Pacific. Plate tectonics isn't just something that happens during earthquakes. It's a constant, invisible force, reshaping our world from the bottom up. The ocean, it turns out, is expanding one quiet inch at a time. Some of Earth's deepest earthquakes happen far beneath the sea. Most people think of earthquakes as shallow surface events. But some of the most powerful and mysterious quakes occur deep beneath the ocean, where tectonic plates grind, bend, and break under extreme pressure. These deep focus earthquakes can originate hundreds of kilometers below the surface, often in subduction zones where one plate is being forced beneath another. In some cases, these quakes are so deep and distant that they go unnoticed by anyone on land. Others send tremors that rattle entire coastlines. Scientists still don't fully understand how rocks can crack under such pressure. The conditions are extreme and the physics complex. But one thing is clear. Beneath the calm surface of the ocean, the planet is restless. The deep doesn't just host strange creatures. It holds tectonic forces as powerful as anything on land. Forces that shape the world in silence. Undersea landslides can trigger devastating tsunamis. When massive amounts of sediment suddenly collapse from a continental slope or seamount, the result is an underwater landslide, one that can displace enormous volumes of water and trigger tsunamis. These undersea avalanches are known as submarine landslides, and they can occur after earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, or even as a result of gradual buildup and failure over time. One of the most famous examples, the Storegga slide, occurred off the coast of Norway about 8,000 years ago and sent tsunami waves crashing into nearby lands. These events are rare, but when they happen, they can be catastrophic and difficult to predict. Some landslides involve more material than all the rivers of the world carry in a year. The deep may seem still, but beneath the seafloor, sediments wait under tension, poised to shift. And when they do, the ocean moves with terrifying force. These landslides move more material than any river. When an underwater landslide occurs, it doesn't just stir up sediment. It can move billions of tons of material in a single event. Some submarine landslides are larger than anything we see on land, displacing more volume than all the rivers on Earth combined might carry in a year. The scale is staggering. One massive collapse can sweep mud, sand, and rock across hundreds of kilometers of ocean floor. These slides reshape underwater landscapes, destroy communication cables, and sometimes trigger tsunamis that reach distant shores. Because they happen deep below the surface, they're often invisible until their effects are felt or discovered years later through sediment cores and bathymetric scans. It's easy to think of the ocean floor as still and settled, but it isn't. Even in darkness, gravity pulls, pressure builds, and mountains fall. The deep is always in motion, sometimes suddenly, sometimes forever. Vast underwater canyons slice through the continental shelf. Just offshore from many continents, hidden beneath the waves, lie submarine canyons. Massive valleys carved into the sea floor, often stretching from the edge of the continental shelf down into the abyssal plains. These canyons can be hundreds of kilometers long and several kilometers deep, rivaling the largest canyons on land. They're shaped by ancient rivers, landslides, and powerful underwater currents that continue to sculpt them even today. Some are steep and narrow. Others are wide and winding. Their walls may host coral, sponges, or filter feeders clinging to the slopes. And their channels act like superhighways for sediment, nutrients, and even marine life. Though hidden from view, these canyons are vital parts of the ocean's circulatory system, pathways that connect the shallow coastlines to the deep sea. To dive into one is to explore a world of silence, depth, and shadow, carved not by time alone, but by flow. One canyon under the sea is bigger than the Grand Canyon. Most people know the Grand Canyon as one of the largest natural wonders on land. But beneath the ocean, there's a canyon that's even longer and deeper. The Jemtchug Canyon, located in the Bering Sea. This massive underwater gorge plunges more than 2.5 kilometers deep and stretches wider than the Grand Canyon at its widest point. It was carved not by wind or rain, but by powerful currents and gravity-driven flows that have eroded the seafloor over millions of years. Like its terrestrial cousin, Jemtchug has steep walls, winding channels, and a complex structure of ridges and slopes. But unlike the Grand Canyon, it lies in complete darkness, barely mapped and rarely visited. The size and scale of such hidden features remind us how much of Earth's grandeur remains unseen, not because it's far away, but because it's underwater. These submarine valleys funnel sediment to the abyss. Submarine canyons aren't just dramatic, they're dynamic. These deep valleys play a key role in transporting sediment from land to the deep ocean. Storm runoff, river discharge, and coastal erosion all contribute material to the continental shelf. But it's the canyons that funnel it down into the abyss. As the sediment flows, it forms turbidity currents, dense, fast-moving underwater avalanches that can travel for hundreds of kilometers along the canyon floors. These currents carve, deposit, and reshape the seafloor as they go, creating layered sediments in the deep ocean basins. Over time, this process builds up thick blankets of silt and clay that bury the ocean floor and preserve a record of Earth's past. In this way, submarine canyons act like geological arteries, carrying not just earth and stone, but the story of everything that is washed down from the land above. The ocean floor stores the history of Earth's climate layer by layer, year by year. The ocean floor collects a record of the world. Tiny particles of dust, volcanic ash, pollen, and microscopic shells settle to the bottom, slowly forming sediment layers that can be thousands of meters thick. These sediments trap chemical signatures and biological clues that reflect the Earth's past, the temperature of the oceans, the levels of carbon dioxide, the movement of continents, and even the timing of mass extinctions. by drilling cores into the seafloor and analyzing the contents. Scientists can read this record like pages in a book. Some cores stretch back tens of millions of years, revealing ice ages, warm periods, asteroid impacts, and ancient ecosystems long vanished. In the deep, the past never disappears. It settles softly, accumulates silently, and waits undisturbed until we come looking for the story it has to tell. Ancient sediment cores hold secrets from millions of years ago. A single sediment core from the deep ocean might look like nothing more than a column of mud. But hidden within are clues to Earth's most dramatic changes. Each layer is a timestamp recording a season, a storm, or an extinction. Cores have revealed traces of the asteroid that ended the age of the dinosaurs, layers of soot from ancient wildfires, and shifts in ocean chemistry that signal climate change events. Microscopic fossils called foraminifera can be studied to reconstruct past ocean temperatures, while isotopes tell us about ice coverage and atmospheric gases. Some cores stretch back 65 million years or more, a frozen history of a living planet. Extracting them requires precision, patience, and deep-sea drilling vessels that can operate under harsh conditions. But what we gain is priceless. A long, silent story of Earth buried beneath kilometers of water and written in dust. Microscopic fossils reveal past worlds now lost to time. Hidden in deep-sea sediment cores are the remains of tiny creatures that once floated near the ocean's surface. Microscopic fossils that hold vast stories. These include foraminifera, tiny shelled organisms that lived for short periods but left behind countless preserved remains. Each species thrived under specific environmental conditions. So by identifying which foraminifera are found in which layers, scientists can reconstruct ocean temperatures, salinity, carbon levels, and climate trends going back tens of millions of years. Some of these layers correspond to global events, the rise of mammals, the retreat of glaciers, the abrupt warming of ancient oceans. What's remarkable is that these fossils are so small, most can't be seen without a microscope. Yet they provide one of the most detailed records of Earth's ancient climate systems. They are Earth's diary, written in shells no wider than a grain of sand. Mining the deep could damage fragile ecosystems forever. In recent years, companies and governments have shown growing interest in deep-sea mining, the extraction of minerals and metals from the ocean floor. But with this interest comes serious concern. Much of the deep ocean is fragile and slow to recover, with creatures that grow slowly, reproduce rarely, and depend on specific environmental conditions. Disrupting these ecosystems, even slightly, could cause long-term damage that lasts centuries or longer. Mining machines would stir up thick plumes of sediment, smothering nearby life and possibly spreading for miles. Entire coral communities or microbial colonies could be destroyed before they're even studied. The deep sea isn't just remote, it's vulnerable. And unlike the surface, it can't heal quickly. Scientists and conservationists warn that if we open the deep to industrial mining without full understanding, we may lose one of the most mysterious and valuable parts of the planet forever. Metal nodules litter the seafloor like alien pebbles. Scattered across vast stretches of the deep ocean floor are strange round formations called polymetallic nodules. These rocky lumps look like smooth pebbles or black potatoes, but they're composed of valuable metals like manganese, cobalt, nickel, and copper. Unlike traditional ores, they don't need to be mined from rock. They sit loose on the seabed, waiting to be collected. But these nodules take millions of years to form, growing just a few millimeters per century. They often host unique ecosystems with tiny organisms clinging to their surfaces or hiding in the sediment around them. To harvest them, machines would need to scrape or vacuum the sea floor, a process that could destroy habitats we've barely begun to understand. These nodules offer a glimpse of planetary time and mineral formation untouched by human hands. They're not just resources. They're geological relics of the deep. These metals are used in phones, batteries, and satellites. The same metals found in deep-sea nodules like cobalt, nickel, and rare earth elements are essential to modern life. They're used in smartphones, electric vehicle batteries, renewable energy systems, and spacecraft electronics. As global demand for these materials increases, especially for clean energy technologies, companies are searching for new sources, and the deep ocean has come into focus. Unlike land mining, which requires digging and refining, these nodules could theoretically be gathered from the seafloor with less overburden. But the trade-off is high. The potential loss of fragile, untouched ecosystems and species unknown to science. The metals may power green technologies, but their extraction could leave a scar on one of Earth's oldest, quietest realms. It's a dilemma that highlights the complexity of sustainability. How do we build a better future without destroying what we've never truly seen? We're debating whether to leave them undisturbed. As interest in deep sea mining grows, so does the debate about whether it should happen at all. Scientists, policymakers, and conservation groups are asking, should we extract resources from a world we barely understand? Some argue that the metals are essential for a transition to clean energy. Others warn that the cost to ecosystems, biodiversity, and unknown species may be far too high. International bodies like the International Seabed Authority are working to develop guidelines. But many experts say we need more time, more data, and more caution. The deep ocean is slow to change and slow to heal. Damage done there could last for centuries. For now, the nodules sit in silence, scattered like seeds across the seabed, and the question remains unanswered. Will we take them? Or will we leave them untouched, a treasure that remains hidden, not because it's forgotten, but because it's protected? Climate change is reaching even the ocean's darkest corners. We often think of the deep sea as untouched, a realm beyond human influence. But even here, climate change is leaving its mark. Warming surface waters affect ocean currents, which in turn alter the movement of heat, oxygen, and nutrients into the depths. Some deep zones are becoming less oxygenated, threatening species adapted to stable, low-oxygen environments. Others are experiencing subtle changes in acidity, temperature, or carbon balance. These shifts may seem small, but in ecosystems that evolved slowly over millennia, even a slight change can be profound. Species may migrate, disappear, or lose the delicate balance they depend on. Coral reefs in the deep are also vulnerable to warming and acidification, just like their shallow water cousins. The deep sea is out of sight, but it is not out of reach. Human impact travels far, and even the abyss is beginning to feel the change. Ocean currents carry heat, salt, and life around the world. Beneath the surface, vast rivers of water move silently through the sea, not just across it, but through it from top to bottom. These thermohaline currents are driven by differences in temperature and salinity, and they form part of what's called the global conveyor belt. As cold, salty water sinks near the poles, it flows deep across the ocean basins, carrying nutrients, carbon, and energy along with it. These deep currents help regulate Earth's climate, distribute marine life, and sustain ecosystems thousands of kilometers away. They can take hundreds of years to complete a single loop. If disrupted by warming or changes in salinity, entire weather patterns could shift. The ocean doesn't just respond to the climate, it helps shape it. And in the deep, the quiet flow of water is one of the most powerful forces on the planet. The deep ocean absorbs massive amounts of carbon. The ocean is one of Earth's greatest carbon sinks, and much of that carbon ends up in the deep sea through a process called the biological pump. Phytoplankton near the surface absorb carbon dioxide during photosynthesis. When these microscopic organisms die, or when they're eaten and excreted, their carbon-rich remains slowly sink through the water column. Over time, this material is buried in seafloor sediments, locking away carbon for centuries or even millennia. The deep sea plays a crucial role in regulating the planet's carbon balance, slowing the pace of atmospheric change. But if warming waters alter ocean circulation or reduce oxygen levels, this delicate balance could shift. The abyss may seem passive, but it is actively working, absorbing, recycling, and storing the byproducts of life above. Its silence hides a crucial function, helping Earth breathe. But its balance may be more fragile than we thought. For a long time, scientists believed the deep ocean was too vast, too cold, and too isolated to be easily affected. But now, we know that even small disturbances can ripple through its systems. Changes in temperature or oxygen levels can alter migration patterns, feeding behaviors, and reproductive cycles. Coral reefs that took thousands of years to form may weaken in just decades. Sediment layers show signs of shifts tied to surface changes, clues that the deep responds faster than we once imagined. Because life here moves slowly, it also recovers slowly. A single disturbance could take centuries to heal. The deep ocean may be vast, but it is not invulnerable. It is interconnected, reactive, and surprisingly delicate. And the more we study it, the more we see that protecting it isn't just about saving the deep. It's about safeguarding the planet. Plastic has been found in the most remote trenches. In 2018, researchers exploring the Mariana Trench, the deepest known place on Earth, found something unexpected: a plastic bag. Later, microplastics were detected in sediments, in animals, and even in the stomachs of amphipods from depths exceeding 10,000 meters. These particles, smaller than a grain of sand, likely drifted down from the surface, carried by currents or attached to sinking organic matter. Once there, they can persist for hundreds of years, entering food webs and potentially altering fragile ecosystems. The discovery was sobering. It showed that no part of the planet is untouched, not even the deepest, darkest trenches. Pollution travels downward quietly, invisibly. The deep sea is vast, but it is not immune. Even here, in the most remote and ancient of places, the footprint of human activity reaches all the way to the bottom. Even deep sea creatures contain tiny bits of plastic. Recent studies have found microplastic particles inside the bodies of animals living thousands of meters below the surface. These include amphipods, worms, and even some species of deep sea fish. Creatures that have never been near the light, let alone the surface. The plastics come from above, breaking down from bags, fibers, or packaging into microscopic pieces that drift through the water or settle on the seafloor. Deep sea organisms feeding on marine snow or sediment ingest these particles unknowingly. The long-term effects are still unknown, but scientists worry that plastics may affect reproduction, growth, or digestion in ways we don't yet understand. In a realm shaped by slowness, stability, and balance, Even the smallest contaminant can be disruptive. These findings remind us that pollution is not just a surface problem. It sinks and it stays. Some nations are creating deep ocean reserves for protection. In response to growing concerns about exploitation, several countries and international bodies are working to establish marine protected areas that include parts of the deep sea. These reserves are designed to safeguard unique habitats such as hydrothermal vents, cold water coral reefs, and seamount ecosystems from fishing, mining, and drilling. Protecting these areas isn't easy. Enforcement is challenging, and much of the deep ocean lies outside national borders. But the idea is spreading. Some nations have declared large swaths of their ocean territory off-limits to extractive activity, preserving biodiversity and allowing ecosystems to remain untouched. These protected zones offer scientists a chance to study nature as it has existed for millennia, slowly, silently, in its own time. In the vast darkness, reserves may be our best hope of ensuring that some parts of the deep remain wild, quiet, and whole. Life in the deep is stranger than we ever imagined. Every dive into the deep sea reveals something new, and often something utterly bizarre. There are creatures with transparent bodies, fish that walk on fins, worms that resemble feathers, and jellies that light up like fireworks. Some animals live without mouths or stomachs. Others glow, vanish, or unfurl like paper lanterns. Evolution in the deep follows different rules shaped by darkness, pressure, and isolation. What would be impossible on land becomes commonplace here. The deep isn't just a darker version of the surface. It's a different world altogether. One where life is flexible, strange, and endlessly creative. For every mystery we solve, another arises. For every known species, there may be dozens we've yet to discover. The deep doesn't imitate the surface. It reinvents it. The deep sea begins where sunlight fades to black. Scientists divide the ocean into zones, and the deep sea begins just past the edge of light. This boundary is called the mesopelagic zone, or more poetically, the twilight zone. It begins around 200 meters down and stretches to 1,000 meters, where the last hints of daylight vanish. Below that lies the bathypelagic zone, a place of complete and permanent darkness. No sunlight reaches this depth. Temperatures drop, pressure rises, and life begins to look profoundly different. In these zones, photosynthesis becomes impossible, and most food arrives as a slow drift of falling particles from above. It's a world without seasons, without sky, and without storms. A world where creatures glow, shimmer, or become nearly invisible. It's also not a rare environment. It makes up the vast majority of our planet's living space. The deep sea is not a distant outpost. It's Earth's hidden heart. Its ecosystems could help us understand life on other worlds. Hydrothermal vents, methane seeps, chemosynthetic life. These deep sea systems don't depend on sunlight. And that's exactly why they fascinate astrobiologists. If life can thrive around superheated vents in total darkness, it might also survive in the subsurface oceans of Europa, Enceladus, or even Mars. The deep ocean is our best analog for alien environments. Studying its microbes and creatures may help us recognize signs of life elsewhere. What kinds of chemistry can support biology? What adaptations allow survival without light? These questions don't just matter to oceanographers. They matter to anyone wondering whether we're alone. The deep is our laboratory for the unknown, and in its strange, quiet corners, we glimpse what life might look like beyond Earth. The deep ocean holds mysteries we haven't even dreamed yet. For all our technology and exploration, the deep ocean remains profoundly mysterious. Over 80% of it remains unmapped, unseen, and unexplored. We don't know what species are out there, how ecosystems are connected, or how many geological wonders lie undiscovered. Every expedition returns with questions we didn't know to ask. The deep resists simplification. It doesn't offer easy answers. Instead, it invites awe, the kind that comes with recognizing how little we truly know. We peer into its darkness with curiosity, wonder, and humility. And in return, it offers glimpses of the astonishing. There is no end to its surprises. The deep ocean is not just a place. It's a reminder that the world is still wild, still vast, and still waiting to be discovered. Even in darkness, the deep ocean shines with wonder. No light from the sun ever reaches the deep, yet it glows with bioluminescent creatures, with heat from vents, with the shimmer of strange bodies drifting through silence. But more than that, it glows with meaning. It reminds us that life adapts, persists, and even flourishes in places that seem impossible. That mystery still exists. That beauty can be found where no one is watching. The deep ocean is full of strange truths, slow rhythms, and living things that defy expectation. And though we may never walk its floor or hear its voices firsthand, we carry its story with us in what we protect, in what we wonder, and in the questions we ask. Even in darkness, the deep ocean shines. The ocean holds 95% of Earth's water. Nearly all of Earth's water, about 95%, lies in the ocean. The lakes and rivers we know, the glaciers and ice sheets that glimmer white in the sun, make up only a small fraction of the total. If all the oceans were drained into a sphere, it would form a ball of water more than 800 kilometers across, dwarfing everything on the surface. This enormous reservoir is not just a collection of waves. It is a system that cycles water endlessly between sea, sky, and land. It gives us rain, feeds rivers, and sustains every living thing. Without it, there would be no weather, no climate, no life as we know it. The ocean isn't just part of Earth's water cycle. It is the heart of it, a vast engine keeping the entire planet alive. More people have walked on the moon than reached the deepest trench. Since 1969, 12 humans have set foot on the surface of the moon, a place nearly 250,000 miles away. But fewer than a handful have descended into Challenger Deep, the lowest known point on Earth. It's astonishing to think that space travel, something that seems so distant and impossible, has been achieved more often than a full descent into our own oceans. The reason is simple. The deep sea is even more hostile than outer space. The pressure is so extreme that a human body would be crushed instantly without protection. Building vessels that can withstand it is a feat of engineering as great as a rocket launch. Yet, when explorers do reach those depths, they find life clinging to the rocks and drifting through the dark. Proof that even in the harshest corners of Earth, life endures. Most of Earth's volcanic activity happens underwater. When we think of volcanoes, we imagine fiery mountains on land, molten lava spilling into the air. But most volcanic activity on Earth is hidden beneath the sea. Along mid-ocean ridges, molten rock constantly seeps upward, forming new crust. There are countless underwater eruptions happening at any given moment, reshaping the planet's surface far from human sight. Some of these eruptions are so massive, they create new islands rising suddenly from the ocean. Others go unnoticed, their lava cooling instantly in the cold water, creating bizarre formations like pillow basalts, rounded stones that look like frozen bubbles. The ocean floor is a vast volcanic factory recycling Earth's crust and fueling hydrothermal vents that sustain unique ecosystems. What we see on land is only a fraction of the Earth's fire. The real heart of its volcanic power lies hidden in the sea. The largest living structure on Earth is in the ocean. Stretching more than 2,400 miles along the coast of Australia, the Great Barrier Reef is the largest living structure on the planet. It is so immense that it can be seen from space. A patchwork of coral, sand, and sea glowing in shades of turquoise and green. But the reef is not a single organism. It is built from billions of tiny coral polyps, each no bigger than a grain of rice. Over time, their skeletons accumulate to form towering walls, islands, and lagoons, creating a habitat that supports an astonishing variety of life. A quarter of all marine species depend on coral reefs, even though they cover less than 1% of the ocean floor. The Great Barrier Reef is not just beautiful, it is vital. A living city beneath the sea, buzzing with creatures of every imaginable shape and color. We still discover thousands of new marine species every year. Every year, scientists catalog thousands of new marine species, from microscopic plankton to deep-sea giants. Some discoveries happen in shallow water, a new species of fish, shrimp, or coral hiding in plain sight among reefs. Others emerge from the deep, carried up by research submersibles or fishing nets. Bizarre creatures with glowing lures, transparent bodies, or teeth like needles. And still, experts believe we've only identified a fraction of what's out there. By some estimates, as many as 2/3 of marine species remain unknown to science. It's as if every time we peek beneath the waves, the ocean reminds us that its secrets are endless. In a world where so much feels mapped and measured, the ocean remains a frontier, a reminder that discovery is not a thing of the past, but something happening every single day. Some creatures glow in the dark without any light. Bioluminescence is one of the ocean's most magical tricks. Countless creatures, from tiny plankton to large squid, can produce their own light. Some flash suddenly to startle predators. Others glow gently to attract mates or lure prey. A swarm of plankton stirred by waves can make the sea shimmer as if filled with stars. Deep below, anglerfish dangle glowing lures, tricking victims into swimming close. The light is not reflected from the sun, but created through chemical reactions inside the animals themselves. Tiny sparks of energy made visible in the blackness of the deep. These glows are signals, warnings, disguises, and traps. Entire ecosystems are lit not by the sun, but by the creatures themselves, turning the dark ocean into a shifting galaxy of living stars. It's a reminder that even in darkness, life finds a way to shine. As this journey through the ocean comes to rest, the vastness beneath the surface can be left behind, still moving, still unfolding, far beyond awareness. The deep continues its slow rhythms, carrying life, heat, and motion through darkness and time. Creatures drift, currents turn, and hidden landscapes remain where they have always been, quiet and unchanged by attention. What has been explored here is only a small glimpse of a world that never truly sleeps. The ocean will keep shaping the planet, sustaining life, and holding mysteries long after this moment fades. Its depths remind us that not everything needs to be seen to matter, and not every question needs an answer right away. If this calm exploration brought a sense of wonder or rest, you are always welcome to return. These quiet moments exist to slow the mind and let curiosity soften into peace. But for now, allow your mind to settle. Let the body grow still, and let the wonders of the ocean carry you to sleep. Good night.